Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Alton West. Today I have a guest on from the Downtown LaGrange Development Authority. Also, I have on a guest from the LaGrange Police Department. So stay tuned for those interviews coming up in just a moment. Welcome back to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. My guest now is from the Downtown LaGrange Development Authority, the Director of Marketing, Barbie Watts. Barbie, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Alton. Good to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure to sit down with you again, and I know that you've been on here recently, but there were so many things that were going on in the downtown area, some things that have already taken place, some things that are coming up that I want you to come back on and talk a little bit about so we can make sure that the viewing audience hear about it so they can come out and be a part of it. But before we get into all that, let me just get into talking about a little bit about your role, Barbie, as the Director of Marketing for the LaGrange Downtown.
Okay, well, I have the pleasure of marketing Downtown LaGrange, and my goal is to bring people downtown, so hopefully when they're there, they'll enjoy our shops and our restaurants too. So I create events that'll appeal to the community and hope they'll come down and enjoy it.
Absolutely. And you know, talking about some of the events, and I know as we've gone past them, Market on the Main is one of the ones that come to mind pretty readily. I know people look forward to coming out to that because I understand that people bring some of their own homemade jams and jellies and pies and the various things.
Yes, that is our local farmers market, and it runs from June to October. Mm-hmm. And so, of course, it's over for the year, but we're getting ready for spring. And great thing is a lot of local produce and crops that our local farmers grow.
That's right, local things. So
fresh, very fresh.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, I had someone on one of the shows, wasn't your show particularly, but they talked about a kudzu jelly.
Ooh, I haven't seen that at our market. Is that somebody local?
It was someone local. They was talking about a kudzu jelly, and they say, well, you know, when you think about kudzu, you like, really? Made in the form of a jelly? But they was talking about kudzu jelly, and it was pretty tasty, they say.
We might have to get them to the market.
We definitely need to try to hunt them down and get them out there, too.
I'd love to talk to them.
All right, very good. Well, we'll be talking about things that are happening in the downtown LaGrange area there, Barbie. And again, there's been a number of things happening. The Christmas parade has already taken place. Of course, we have Santa who's going to be down there up until Christmas Day. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, this is another thing that we do for the community, and we'll have Santa on the square from 1 to 4 every Saturday leading up to Christmas. So there's 3 Saturdays in December, so he'll be there from 1 to 4, and there's no charge, and families can bring their children or pets. People bring their pets sometimes to take pictures with Santa, and bring their list and talk to Santa, and then take a picture. And there's no charge for that either. So it's just a nice thing for the community to do, and a good tradition.
Absolutely. So Santa on the square from 1 to 4, and that's each Saturday before leading up to Christmas.
Yes.
Okay. Well, very good. And well, make sure they've been on the nice list, I guess, when they get ready to come down and talk to him, right?
Yes. Yes.
Well, very good. Now, and I know that this is something new to the downtown LaGrange area here. We're talking about carriage rides.
Yes.
Talk about that for us.
Well, this year we're trying out something new, and we were approached by the man that we rent the little carriage for Santa to sit in at the square. He approached us this year to see if we'd be interested in offering carriage rides through downtown, and of course we were excited about being able to do that. So he is going to be downtown every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday leading up until Christmas. And on Friday, he's going to be giving carriage rides in the evening from 5 to 9. On Saturday, it's 1 to 5. Sunday, 1 to 4.
Oh, okay.
And the carriages are complimentary. The DLDA is, we're paying him to be there. But we would encourage people to give him a tip to show their appreciation for the ride, because, we're not covering nearly what he would need to make for his time there.
Oh,
but
okay.
Anyway, and the carriage rides will start at the Chamber of Commerce Plaza on the Bull Street side. So the route will be down Bull Street. He'll turn onto Broome, come back up Main Street, and go around the square, and then. So it should be lots of fun. He's got 2 different carriages. On Friday nights, he's thinking he will use his covered carriage, and it seats 2 people, so it's more of a date
Oh,
kind of thing. And then on the afternoon rides, he's got an open carriage, and you can fit about a family with 4 kids in it. So
Oh, man.
we're really excited about it, and he's just a really nice fella, so I think he'll make it a whole lot of fun.
Okay,
So.
well, very good. And that's the first for the downtown area.
Yes, it is.
Very good.
And what we'll do, because I think the rides will take about 15 or 20 minutes, so he'll probably get about 14 to 20 in, depending on, I guess, the traffic and everything, in during the times that he's there. So we'll have a number that people can take a number for their turn.
Oh,
and,
okay.
And, allow 15 minutes for each ride.
Okay,
So.
well, very
So anyway,
good.
so we'll just see how it works.
Well, that's exciting,
Yeah.
because if anybody's gone to the downtown Atlanta or New Orleans and various places of that nature, you do see the horse-drawn carriages, people riding and stuff. So that ought to be exciting.
I got to go see his carriages, and he's got just beautiful carriages. They're old antique. I don't know if you could call them antiques, but
Okay.
beautiful carriages and a gorgeous horse. So I'm really excited about it. I think it'll be a lot of fun for
Well,
our
very
community.
good. So we're hoping that will be a big success, and maybe maybe next year or maybe
can
throughout the
continue.
year continue. So okay, well, very good. So again, that's going to be Friday and Saturday leading up to Christmas, right?
Yeah, and Sunday.
And
afternoon.
Sunday, and Sunday as well. Okay, Friday and Saturday from 5 to 9, and then 1 to 5. I think
Yeah,
what time?
this Friday is going to be an evening session, so
Okay.
5 to 9
Okay.
every Friday.
All right,
Saturday 1 to 5.
all right,
Sunday 1 to 4.
1 to 4, and then
And our shops are open during those times too, so a lot of our boutiques are open for Christmas shopping
okay.
on Sunday afternoon. So hopefully people come down and shop and get a carriage ride, and
That's right. That's
eat,
right.
and just enjoy our downtown.
Absolutely, and that's exciting. And again, you mentioned that the cost is free, but you do encourage donation
Sure,
tips.
yes.
Okay. All right. Well, very good. So we definitely want to make sure that the public come out and enjoy those things. Now, there's some other things going on in the downtown area. Barbie, talk a little bit about some of the other events that we're
Well,
planning.
we've got a new event this year. It's going to be called LaGrange Miracle, and it will benefit the Children's Miracle Network. Some of our young people that have gone off to college this year are creating this event, and it's going to be held on December 14th, which is Saturday. It's going to run from 11 to 2, and it's going to be located at Lafayette Square. And they're going to have several booths with activities for children to do, and I think even helping with Christmas wrapping presents and things like that. And just fun for the kids, but also a way to create a little bit of, money to give back to the Children's Miracle Network. So
okay.
this is the first year that we've done this event downtown. We're excited about it, and of course, hopefully people will bring their children out to enjoy it.
Well, very good. And that again is the LaGrange Miracle, and it's a fundraiser for the Children's Miracle
Yes.
Network. Okay, well, very good. And as we enter into this time where people are familying and funds and various things, it's always helpful too when we can help to serve someone maybe a little bit less fortunate than we are. So this is a very good. I've known of the Children's Miracle Network for quite some time, so that's a very good cause too. All right. Other things that are happening. I know we got the Christmas parade, like I said, has taken place, and then we got the Santa. Other things that will be going on in the downtown. Always the shops are open and available too.
Yes. They'll, of course, they're all stocked up and ready for Christmas, and they all offer complimentary gift wrap. So I would encourage people to
okay.
enjoy their shopping experience and come downtown and have some personal attention that you can only get from the business owner, in a small shop,
That's right.
and they'll help you find some wonderful gifts and wrap them up really nice. So
Absolutely.
it's just a great shopping experience.
And absolutely. I was looking in the newspaper the other day. I saw, I think it's right there on Vernon Street, there was a new business that's open.
Oh, yes.
That has some odd and end things.
Actually, they have a coffee shop in
A
there,
coffee,
a coffee
that's
bar.
right,
Yeah,
right.
Curiosities on Vernon.
Right, mhm,
It's a new business, and they have an antique booth, and then they also have coffee. So we're excited to have that back downtown.
Absolutely. That's why it kind of caught my eye that, someone there offered coffee to,
And
patrons.
then I don't know if you know, the Medicine Cabinet has opened on Vernon, and they have a soda fountain in there.
Oh, okay.
Just kind of like Old Smith Hillside, so you can go in and get a banana split or a sundae, and they're also going to, I think, have grilled cheese and some kind of grill items. So that is really exciting. So we've got some some fun new things in downtown.
Well, very
places
good.
to go and eat.
Talking about this old Smith Pharmacy, I remember working there back in my high school
Did
days.
you really?
I did, absolutely.
I think everybody loves that.
Oh,
love
yeah,
that place.
that's right. Oh, the one Hillside on
Yeah.
Lincoln Street,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I saw Gail the other day that used to work behind the soda fountain.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of things going on in our downtown. And let me ask you the question, why should our people come to our downtown area? We know that there's a number of things that are taking place. We talked about the shops. What are some of the other things that we
Well,
have to offer downtown?
We have some wonderful museums, and there's always a good art exhibit at LaGrange Art Museum. Right now at Legacy Museum, there's a Smithsonian exhibit. I think it's going to be closing soon, though, about music. And those are free events too, and it's great to bring visitors to our community through those museums, and also to bring the children to expose them to some of our history and to some beautiful works of art. So,
Absolutely.
And then the Cochran Gallery is open, I think, on Wednesday afternoons through the weekend. So that's always fun too if they have an exhibit. And he's going to be having a John Lawrence photography exhibit hanging there. And John is an art professor from LaGrange College, so does beautiful photography. So that should be a real treat to see too.
So there's just again, we can't overemphasize the number of things that the downtown has to offer. While you're out shopping, and kids can go to a movie if
That's
they
right.
like to do so. Of course, we got the athletic club down there. There's just a number of things in our downtown area. So, and I want to thank you for coming on and sharing with us about the things that are happening
Happy to do
in
it.
and around the downtown area. And hopefully people will come out and enjoy the Santa on the Square and also the carriage rides. That was the first for our downtown area. So Barbara, thank you very much for being
You're
on the show
welcome.
today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're back for more City Week in just a moment.
This is Bobby McCollum with the City of LaGrange Garage. I'm here to give you another winter car care tip for your vehicle. Now, one thing you do need to check through the winter is your antifreeze. Your antifreeze keeps your vehicle from freezing during the winter. It's supposed to have a proper 50-50 mix between antifreeze and water. Very easy way to check it. One thing you need to look at is your coolant level to see how much antifreeze you have in the vehicle. Now, it's going to have a maximum or minimum level on your reservoir, and it's going to tell you how much you need to put in it. Another thing you need to check is the actual freezing point of your antifreeze. And you can do that with a simple tester you can get at any parts store. All you do is take the cap off of your radiator reservoir. On this model vehicle we have a reservoir. Stick it down in and squeeze up your antifreeze into the tester. There will be a needle showing where your antifreeze test level is, and on this vehicle it's good to negative 45 degrees. Now, you need to have it up to about 0 degrees. You don't want it to be any higher than 0. If it's anything above 0, you need to flush out and refill your radiator with the proper level and type of antifreeze, and you can check your owner's manual for that. This is just another simple car care tip from the City of LaGrange. These are just general care tips for your vehicle. Please refer to your owner's manual for any vehicle specifications.
Welcome back to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. We are talking about holiday safety, and I wanted to bring someone on from the LaGrange Police Department. Who better to do that than Sergeant Dale Armstrong of the LaGrange Traffic Department to talk about safety over the holidays. Welcome to the show, Sergeant.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Well, we had a couple of shows. We talked about some safety shopping tips and various things of that nature. We talked about the Christmas parade. And now we also want to make sure that our citizens stay safe as they're traveling, whether it be in town or out of town, as they're moving about, in the vehicles and various things of that nature. Talk a little bit about your role there in the traffic department for us first, though.
Well, my job, and with the other ones that serve with me in my unit, our job is to get people back and forth through the city as safely and as efficiently as possible. And we do that in a manner of ways. Sometimes that's through education, through enforcement, and through other things like that. But our job is essentially that, getting you from point A to point B safely and efficiently.
That's right. And so many times we see people get distracted, and I think that's the biggest cause of accidents, whether it be the cell phone, whether it be the radio or whatever, a kid in the back seat.
That's right.
Getting distracted is the biggest cause of accident. So we just want to kind of talk a little bit about things that they can do to keep themselves safe. And you and I had a ride-along some months ago, and we were able to point out some various things. What do you see as perhaps some of the biggest causes of accidents?
Well, in our city, failure to yield the right-of-way, which means anything at an intersection like where there's a stop sign, red light, or driveways or something like that, whether it's a private driveway or a driveway to a parking lot or something. Failure to right-of-way and falling too close are two major causes. Now, on private property, it's improper backing.
Okay.
But you mentioned distracting, and I think that's a pretty good thing there too, because when people are traveling, it's easy to get distracted. And I want to just tell folks that distractions are some of the things you mentioned, but by kind of like definition, what it is anything that takes your eyes off the road, your mind off your driving, or your hands off the wheel. So when you're changing radios, you're taking a hand off there, so you don't have that control. You're looking for that CD wherever you hold it. That's a distractor. Hollering at the kids or something out there because they're like, are we there yet?
Right.
That's a distractor, and all that stuff like that. Talking on the phone, although a lot of folks use the hands-free or maybe even put it on speaker. Your main job when you're on that phone is speaking. It's not paying attention to the road. You're talking. And studies have shown that distracted drivers, especially if they're texting, are 23 times more likely to be in a crash than someone who's not doing that kind of activity. So it's dangerous business.
Yeah.
I mean, driving's already dangerous.
Absolutely.
But that adds to the danger.
Absolutely. 23 more times to be in an accident when you're distracted by doing one of those things. That's too great of a risk for our citizens to take.
That's right.
And as we talk about, we've gone through the Thanksgiving holiday, and people getting ready to go out to go to Black Friday shopping. Talk about some things that they can do, because I know a lot of them get up early to make sure that they're number one in line.
That's right.
Talk about some things that they need to do to prepare themselves.
Well, of course, once one of the things that it talks about Black Friday, of course, you're trying to get a deal, and you're getting up early. You may have stayed up too late. So you're getting up early, so you're fatigued, you're tired, and that kind of impacts your driving a little bit. Also, too, you're stressed, trying to get to that place, first in line or whatever, so you can get that deal. So that adds stress to your driving as well. So you may be tired, may be stressed. You have all these things going. Everybody's trying to get to one point at one time. So sometimes folks don't drive as they would normally do on a regular day.
Right.
So you have to be watchful for the folks that are coming. Be watchful for yourself, more importantly, that if you're tired, you're stressing, then kind of drive accordingly, because that's one of the things you have to recognize is you're a hazard there. And you may not know it.
Right.
So by you recognizing that you're a hazard and your fatigue and all, you can help other folks by them driving, watching them by your driving.
Right. And in talking about watching them driving, I remember going through, when I was down at the police department, the defensive driving course. You look as you're approaching the intersection, you like car coming up to the right or whatever the case may be.
That's right.
And when you're fatigued or very, very tired or whatever, people, I guess, again, they don't pay that much of attention to their surroundings.
That's right. And when you're tired, you just don't see it. I mean, or if you do see it, your mind doesn't click that's something I need to watch out for, because you're just, your senses are dulled. So it takes all your senses to drive and drive safely. So taking one of those out, whether but by fatigue, is just dangerous.
It is. Let's talk. Talking about fatigue and dangerous driving. Use of signalizations in a vehicle. A lot of times we'll see a car that may be riding down the road and the signal lights is blinking. Or someone may be getting ready to turn at an intersection and give no signal. Talk about that for us.
It's important. Of course, Georgia law requires that you signal if you're going to make a lane change. Anytime you turn, and even when you change lanes, you're going in a different direction slightly, so that's a turn. So you need to use a signal. And what that signal is this communication, okay? You turn it on within a good distance before you get there. Turn it on so that the car beside you, in front of you, wherever it is, behind you, knows that you're fixing to change direction, and lets them do that. Turning it off is also important, because some folks, they're impatient. Okay, they see your turn signal on, you're in that lane that maybe has a bunch of driveways where you can turn in. Well, the other drivers may not wait to see what you're doing. So if they see that turn signal on way up the road, they think you're going to turn, so they may pull out, and then you're not turning, and then you have a collision. So turn that off, and then at the same time, folks that see that signal do not assume that they're going to turn there.
That's right.
Wait until they start to make that turn. That way they're committed, so that way you know it's safe to come out. Because sometimes, you know, if they're new to the town, they may think they're supposed to turn there, but then it's actually the next street, or the GPS tells them, hey, no, it's the next street,
Right.
and they go straight and you collide. So,
That's right.
so use the signals, but also be wary of the signals.
That's right. And you brought up another good point. A lot of people now driving with the GPS, where once upon a time we would stop and ask direction, and the GPS sometimes can lead you.
It can lead you astray.
That's
you
right,
know?
absolutely. So that's very important. Now, and we're talking about holiday, you know, Thanksgiving, we're entering the Christmas season. People are going to be out, they're going to be enjoying family and friends and foods, and sometimes we might add a little, you know, other mixtures to that equation there.
Yeah.
Talk about drinking and driving, the dangers of that.
Well, you know, a lot of folks think when you're impaired, you know, it's when you're stumbling around, you know, you're obviously drunk. Well, you know, you may have seen some of the TV commercials where it says buzz driving, because when you're drinking alcohol, you know, a lot of it gets absorbed through the tongue, okay, and then it gets distributed as the more you go.
Okay.
So, so you're impaired when you take that first drink. You know, like say for instance, like right now, I've not had anything to drink, but if I had gone to, you know, a party or something like that, and you know, if somehow I had something to drink, I'm not impaired when I get there, but as soon as I take that drink, I am impaired because I'm not the same as I was when I walked in. So you have to make those decisions, like 1, get a designated driver, 2, stay there, 3, get have another place to stay or another plan, you know.
Okay.
So make those decisions before you drink or even take a drug, because you're impaired already when you take that first drink.
Absolutely.
And then don't drive. I mean, if you had a drink, just don't drive. You know, find another way.
Yeah, and you know, so many times I think people kind of get in their mind that, oh, I just had, like you said, just that one drink, and you know, I'm not impaired. I'm capable of driving, but again, with those distractions, maybe the unfamiliarness of a surrounding area.
That's right.
You know, all of those are, you know, recipes or things that can cause for a disaster.
Recipe for disaster. That's exactly right.
Absolutely. So again, we just want our citizens to be mindful of that and to keep themselves safe. And you mentioned one thing that I want to come back to now. You talked about improper backing. We see that happen a lot of times, and I'm sure you guys have worked numerous accidents with people improper backing. Talk about that for us.
Well, you know, a lot of times folks, you know, they really pay attention a lot on streets, you know, because they know streets they have wrecks on streets and they're dangerous. But parking lots are just many little cities, I guess, among themselves. They have lanes, the traffic lanes. They have parking spaces, you know, so they're kind of little roads within themselves. So when you're traveling in a parking lot, if the arrow says go, you know, down,
Right.
well, go down. Okay, don't come up on the down arrow,
Right.
because 1, you'll have a hard time finding a parking space. But 2, folks aren't looking for you to come, you know, the opposite direction. You're going on the wrong way, kind of.
Right.
So when you park, also too, when you think about parking, you know, we always like to get a close space because no one really wants to walk, you know. But if you're in a little car, like maybe well, I don't know, just a little car, a little compact car.
Okay.
Don't park next to a huge SUV that you can't see around, okay? Because when you're backing, you're just hoping someone lets you out, because you know you know, Georgia law is funny, and it's pretty clear. Essentially, you can only back when it's safe to back, and you can do it without interfering with other traffic. Okay. So even if you're out and a car comes, you know, you've interfered with that traffic, so technically you're improperly backing.
Okay.
And then we have a lot of problems sometimes too, where 2 cars will back out at the same time. You know, folks are using those devices that show the mirror or the camera in the back, you know, and they're concentrating not so much in backing, but with left to right.
Right.
So you need to, when you're backing, always look everywhere, you know, because you never can tell when another car is going to back up because you're angled.
Right.
You know, so always look and always be careful. And if there's a way to park where you don't have to back up, that's the
even
way to
better.
go. That's the way to go, if you can do it.
Absolutely. And you know, so many times, you know, I've seen and heard, you know, down near my place of employment, people, like you said, backing out of the parking space, may have one on one side, one back on the other side, and bam, there you go.
That's right.
And you know, it's unfortunate, but those are common occurrences that we see happening.
Very common.
And as we continue to talk about holiday safety, I know that every year the LaGrange Police Department participate in the zero tolerance click of the ticket, and I'm sure that they will be doing that again this year.
Yeah, those are national mobilizations. Every state in the union participates in them. Operation Zero Tolerance is one with, of course, drug impaired or alcohol impaired driving. Of course, alcohol is a drug, so we just say drug impaired. Click or ticket is seatbelt enforcement, geared to that. So we always participate in them. Usually it's around the this holiday season. We could have any kind of traffic safety checkpoint set up anywhere in the city at any time. We always like to try to do some around the New Year's, closer to around there as well, so you may encounter them as well. And all you have to do, is, of course, naturally, is when you encounter one, just have your driver's license and ready and all, and we'll get you through there as quickly as possible.
That's right.
Unless, of course, you're drinking and driving, then
that's not a good thing.
As far as you're going to get.
That's not a good thing. Absolutely. So we definitely not only we want to make sure that visitors to our city are safe as well as our citizens of our town to enjoy the holiday season. And again, click at a ticket. And I see the percentage out there on the Parkway, and we rank very high, like 94, 95%. So that's
we do pretty well.
Very good. So we want to thank our citizens for that. Well, I also want to thank you, Sergeant Armstrong, for coming on and just kind of sharing these tips. And I know that you'll be out, you with the other guys and ladies in blue, to make sure that our citizens enjoy a very happy holiday season. And I want to thank you and all the ones that for the hard work and dedication that you all have to us.
Well, thank you.
Well, all right. Thank you for being on the show.
Thanks.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We'll be back for more City Week in just a moment.
Why United Way? Because in some way, everyone in our community is touched by your donation to United Way of West Georgia. Yes, everyone. United Way helps 25 local agencies touch thousands of lives, even yours. To cause so many good things to happen, these organizations must have volunteers. Fortunately, more than 2,300 local volunteers are now giving time to the 25 local organizations that United Way of West Georgia helps support. Yes, more than 2,300 volunteers. But more are needed. Please volunteer your time, as well as your financial support. You'll be astonished at what you'll receive in return.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for City Week this week. My guests have been from the Downtown LaGrange Development Authority, had the Director of Marketing, Barbie Watts, as she talked about upcoming events in and around the Downtown LaGrange area. So we want to make sure that you come out and patronize the events and also the businesses in our Downtown LaGrange area. Also, we had on from LaGrange Police Department, Sergeant Dale Armstrong, as he gave us some safety traveling tips and also driving tips here in around LaGrange, and if you're going to be driving out of town. So make sure that you keep those tips in mind, ladies and gentlemen. And also remember, click it and don't get ticketed, okay? So ladies and gentlemen, we want to make sure that you have a very safe and happy holiday season. And I also want to invite you back for more of City Week.
Hi, this is Bobby McClellan with the City of LaGrange Garage, here to talk to you about a few winter car care tips for your vehicle. I'd like to talk to you today about tire pressure. Tire pressure is very important. It helps you actually get traction with the road as you drive. As the weather gets colder, your tire pressure will decrease, so you need to check it on a regular basis. And to check your tire pressure, all you have to do is get a simple tester like this from any general parts store. They're not very expensive and very simple to use. And to find your specifications for your vehicle, you look inside your driver's door of your vehicle. There's an identification tag here, and it will tell you what the tire pressure should be. You also need to take a look at your tire tread, because your tread is what actually grips the road and gives you the traction you need so you don't slide or spin or have a problem or an accident. This right here is a good example of a bad tire. As you see, it's wore down and into the fabric already, and there's very little tread on the tire. A good way you can check your tires is to look for the wear indicator bars, like here and here. Once your vehicle tire gets down to those bars, it is time for you to replace your tire. This is a very simple car care tip from the City of LaGrange. These are just general care tips for your vehicle. Please refer to your owner's manual for any vehicle specifications.